You know the drill. We're live in 5, 4, 3. In this video, I'll be talking about the 17 cool pieces of gear for the home studio that just happen to be on sale right now because you know what? It's that time of the year. But first up, I've got 4 things to say. Please create now with the gear you have. Number 2, gear is not the answer. It's like freshly ground pepper that you put on top of a delicious meal that you've just cooked. You need the meal first. The pepper just makes it better. The gear is the same. The links down in the description are affiliate links and they're up there as well. So you can go to studiolivetoday.com/gear to find out all of the gear that I recommend in the home studio. And finally, fourthly, we will be focused on Sweetwater in the US and all my gear recommendations for the UK and Australia and Canada and all the other places there at studiolivetoday.com/gear as well. So welcome to the folks who are here live. If you're catching up on the replay, we love you just as much. Leave your chat, your questions, and your comments down below. We will get to a Q&A section at the end of the show. But for now, without any further ado, let's jump in and start talking gear, shall we? Because there's some pretty cool stuff. And no matter what you think about Black Friday, about big companies, about the hype, about whatever, if you're an audio creator or a video creator and you're going to get something cheaper, just get it cheaper. You don't have to get into the whole vibe of the thing. You just need to use it. Use it for your advantage. Use and abuse the folks who are going to give you free stuff. Not quite. Cheap stuff. So if we jump over here, this is what we have going on. This is Sweetwater. I'm focusing on Sweetwater because they've had their Black Friday deals happening for the whole week and they'll be going for another 3 days. So if you're watching any time before the 28th of November, these deals should still be available. And yes, this year, a lot of stuff's out of stock. So the deals are going to be a little bit different because we are still getting things back into stock across the board. Let's go. Item number 1. What's first cab off the rank here? Don't leave home without the Shure SM57. Now, yeah, $10 off is not huge, but here's the thing. The SM57 and the SM58, we'll talk about in a moment, basically never goes on sale. And when it does, it's never cheaper than this. And if you see online, if you go to wish.com, if you go to eBay, and you see a Shure SM57 or SM58 for $50, $40, $30, they are almost definitely knockoffs. You do not want the knockoffs. They will not work as well. They will not be the rugged bits of awesome that the SM57 is. So there is the SM57. Jade Star mentioned to me earlier, she said, I really wanted an SM57, but I realized that my SM58 is basically the same mic, just with the little bulb at the top, which we'll show you in a minute. So SM57, made by Shure, built like a tank, comes there, as you can see, with its nice, convenient carry pouch, and yeah, is just... if you're looking for a microphone that just does the job, and the thing about dynamic mics is that they're really good in high noise environments. The reason they're used for live and for on-stage stuff is that they're really good when you got a lot of noise, so you can actually get some good quality sounds. And like I say, they are literally never on special. They're a $100 mic. You just walk around, they're $100. So if you've been eyeing off an SM57 for a long time, now would be the time. It ain't going to get much cheaper than $89 delivered to get yourself an SM57. Number 2 is the brother, sister, mother, auntie, uncle, third cousin of the SM57, which is this sucker here, the SM58. Same microphone, same capsule, same price. The difference, it has the grill. So if you're using for vocals, grab an SM58 because you get the grill built in. And this means if you're using it for live, you're going to get a little bit of pop resistance. It's got a bit of a pop filter built into that. The SM57 does too underneath. It's got a bit of foam, but this one does a better job for vocals. But again, you can use this on your instruments as well. So if you're going to use it for vocals and instruments, don't think you have to buy both. The SM58 will work very well on instruments as well. Or get the SM57, put a pop filter in front of it, and you got the same microphone. So again, same stuff comes with it. There you go. You've got your curry bag and clip. And yeah, again, just a really good quality microphone. Shure makes some really good stuff. And I use the SM57 a lot for all sorts of applications. Whenever you just want good quality audio, you don't have to worry about phantom power. You don't have to worry about having any preamplification or anything. You can plug it into your guitar amp. I used to plug an old SM57 into my guitar amp, and use it to like amplify my voice because I was a weird dude, and some would say I still am. So there you go, number 1 and number 2. We had to start. We're not burying the lead here. We're starting with the best. We're going the Shure SM57 and the 58. Bubba's got some advice here. The SM57 has shocked me many more times than the 58. There you go. So if you don't want shocks, then go for the SM58. And yeah, you can get, the other thing is, if you're getting the budget model, the PG range are actually pretty good. So if you are on a budget, buy the Shure, but look out for the PG range. They are around the $40, $50 mark. That was my first Shure microphone. They're not quite up there with the SM series, but they do a good job. Next up, yeah, drums, please. The Alesis Nitro Mesh electronic drum set is on a pretty good deal. This is $379, the retail price, and look, retail price, we know what that means. This thing's not ever selling for $549. I don't see how it's got MSRP. It's like what is that? The street price, main street retail price, whatever that actually stands for. But yeah, it's probably not going to be that. And the same with Amazon. If you're looking on Amazon and you see the original price is this, and then the price is this, and it's a 47% saving, it's probably about 10 or 20%, right? Yeah, probably about 10 or 20%. Question here from Ronan. Yeah, we mentioned up the front, these are US-based deals. So the majority of these deals we're talking about are for Sweetwater in the US. And Bubba's also saying that Guitar Center's prices are the same. There you go. So wherever you buy from, yeah, it's a good time to buy. So that's why I thought I'll show the gear. These are the US specials, but a lot of this stuff is going to be on sale in different parts of the world through different retailers. I'm just showing you the cool gear that I use, that I like, that it happens to be on sale. So Jade says, I love my Nitro Mesh kit, best investment. Yeah, if you're getting into the world of e-drums, of electronic drums, when I was buying, and I own the Alesis Surge, which is the one model up from this, but I think it's actually the same. No, yes, that's a Nitro, which is the one model up from this, but basically the exact same thing. These mesh pads, if you've never played electronic drums, or if you think that electronic drums are the old ones of the past, where it's just a drum pad and you tap it and it's all a bit naff, the mesh kit, if you're a real drummer, which I'm not, but I'm sure if you are, I've spoken to real drummers and they're like, yeah, when you're playing a mesh kit, it feels like you're playing drums. Like it feels, you get that bounce back, you get that response because it is mesh. It's like a drum skin that goes over the top. And this one here that has the nitro head, what do they call that? The module. And then you've got your cymbals. So you've got 3 cymbals, you've got your 3 toms, your snare, and then you've got your 2 pedals down below as well, your kick and your hi-hat. And like I said, it changes your world when you're trying to play drums on a keyboard or on a touch screen, and then you get a real kit. It's pretty game changing. Mine is actually in pieces at the moment. I ran out of space. I had to reinstall my treadmill, and for various reasons, I didn't have room for a drum kit. But I'm super duper looking forward to getting a drum kit back into my life. So there you go. That is the Alesis Nitro Mesh kit. Next up, we got some cheap Sennies. Yeah, the Sennheiser HD200 Pro. Not to be confused with my favorite headphones, which are the ones on my noggin right now. These are the HD280 Pro. So these are the headphones I recommend. These are about $100 headphone. And what a lot of folks say to me is they're like, Pete, I want to get them, but is there an entry level? Is there a budget version of the HD280s? And there is. And it happens to be the HD200s, and here they are. So what do you get for that? Well, you don't get exactly the same stuff. Some of the things I love about the HD280s, such as the curly cord, I love me some curly cord action, and the screw-on tip to make sure that you don't pop out of your gear, that stuff is missing from here. So there are some sacrifices, there are some things that you need to be aware of. So there you go, you only get the straight cable, you only get the little plug-in adapter at the end there, so you need to be a little bit more careful with things. And the overall build quality of these, look, they're all plastic at the end of the day, but as you go into the more budget headphones, they do feel a little bit plastic-y-er, if that makes any sense. You still get the nice soft padded foam cups. They're still closed back, which means that they're excellent for both recording because they block out the noise. So when you're recording, it'll reduce the sound coming in. So that's a good deal, and good for mixing and mastering as well. So yeah, if you're looking to get in, if you don't have any headphones, or you're using your dirty buds, as my buddy over at Dank Pods would say, if you're using your Apple dirty buds or a pair of earbuds and you want to go next level, but you don't have $100 burning a hole in your pocket, for 50 clams, these ones are a pretty good deal. The Sennheiser HD200 Pros. Where are we up to? Like I've lost count of numbers. Next one, they're down in the description, folks. You can check all these out. Speaking of headphones, If you don't like Sennheiser for whatever reason and you want to go for something a bit different, AKG have also got some headphones on sale here. And these are actually some ridiculously good deals. So if you look at this one, these are the K275. Now, it says they're $99. Again, you can usually pick them up for around $80 or even $70. But at the moment, check that out. They're $59. No, they're not even $99. $59 even. So that's a pretty good deal. And it does say, while stocks last. So all these things are still in stock. If you're watching this in the next day or two, some of this stuff may be out of stock. We'll see how we go. So these are the K275. Again, they're closed back, foldable headphones. Similar sort of layout. You got the reason I use Sennheiser over AKG is that you can see here, the AKG have these rounder cups. Now my ears are a bit of a long shape. So if you've got long ears like me, the Sennheisers are probably better because they're an oval shape. These round ones don't kind of encapsulate. They feel a bit uncomfortable after a half an hour or an hour of wearing. And if you're using headphones in the home studio, you're going to be wearing them for a while. But there you go. This is cool. You do get the detachable cord on this model. So that's pretty epic. So you've got the detachable cord there. You get the carry bag and the adapter, of course, there. And there's a few more pictures of them. Look, yeah, see. So you can see where the cord plugs in at the bottom there. It's got a little proprietary connector that goes in, and you've got your cable that's separatable, which is a good deal. Now, again, if you are more budget conscious, and hey, 59 is a pretty good deal, but we've also got these ones, the next model down, the 245s, which are a similar kind of thing. I think, yeah, they still have the detachable cable, same sort of thing, just slightly lower spec that you have there, and we've even got the 175s. Now, I picked up a pair of these, and I didn't like them. So I know you're like, Pete, you're recommending gear that you don't actually like. That's a bit weird. Yeah, I know. But again, it's really just because I'm so used to the Sennheisers. These are pretty cool though, because they're not sort of adjustable, but when you put them on your head, they kind of auto adjust. See this thing at the top here? They auto adjust to the top of your head. But again, the slightly smaller cups just didn't work with my ears. So it's no criticism. They're still good headphones. It's a good bit of kit. And for $39, you really can't go wrong. Oh, they have the detachable cable too. I didn't even realize that. There you go. I'd forgotten. But yeah, so they're a good bit of kit again for $39, down from $79. Again, you can usually pick them up around $60, but yeah. And as Tom Rochelle says, the cups look tiny. Yeah, honestly, do check your head size and your ear size before you buy something like this. Jade also loved the Audio Technica. Yeah, my order of headphones would go Sennheiser, Audio Technica, AKG. But again, it's just the size of my ears. And there you go. Deep Gravity has some HD200 Pros on the way. Nice work, my friend. Hope you enjoy those. Campervan says, I've got the AKG K92Ss. I'm happy with them for budget headphones. Yeah, and again, AKG do make good headphones. It's just sometimes it's a personal thing, yeah. And this is why you'll always get the truth here. It's why I could never be I'd never be a sleazy salesperson, because I'm not going to tell you to buy stuff. Well, I am. I'll say you can choose to buy it, but I'll give you my real opinion on this stuff, because whatever you buy from the affiliate links, whatever you buy from the gear guide up there, yeah, it's going to support me and support the channel. So I don't actually mind if you buy nothing or if you buy everything, and what you buy, I just want to tell you my experience and what you should keep in mind before you buy. Cody Walsh says, yeah, the Audio Technica M50X. Yeah, I don't own a pair of them, but I have heard that the M50s are the way to go in your Audio Technica world. There we go. Alrighty, next up on guitarists. Where are my guitarists at? Yeah. What I've found is, here's the thing. I don't use guitar pedals anymore, except when I need wah. Why? Because you need an expression pedal for your wah. And probably one of the coolest guitar things I bought a long, long time ago was a Dunlop Jimi Hendrix wah. And it is just awesome. Like, there is no better feeling than plugging in a wah, clicking it down, and just getting some foot action going on with your wah. And yeah, we've got a good deal on this one right now. Wah pedals are not cheap, so anytime you see them on sale, if you've been in the market or if you're thinking about a wah, check it out. This is the Mini Wah, so it's not the big one. Again, if you've got big clodhoppers like me, you might want to go for a full-size wah, but if your feet are more delicate, then you can go for a Mini Wah. But yeah, the Dunlop are the wahs to get in my experience. They just Again, build quality is awesome. Mine's got to be 25 years old now. The only thing that's happened, it needs some new little screw-on feet. Some of those fell off and I can't find them, so I need some screw-on feet. But yeah, wahs are a whole lot of fun, and if you want to funk it up, if you want to play yourself some funk and get funky with your bad self, you're going to need a wah pedal. And I thought, there you go, just for our guitarist friends. And look at that, look at that build quality. Yeah, you just know you'd hold that. You can't even feel it, right? But you just know that that's going to be heavy and it's going to feel good. And those dials are going to dial in some ridiculously good tone. There you go. Looks like a stapler. Be like office supplies with Pete Johns live. No, it's a wah pedal. It's very cool. So plug it into your amp and into your guitar and get your wah on, because why not? All right, next up, if you are setting up a studio now, you may be aware that I use Sennheiser, but I do also own a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, not the 3rd gen, but the original one. And I use Audio-Technica mics. So this one happens to be the SE Electronics X1S microphone, which I haven't used, but folks that I know, I think Mike over at Creative Source, I think he reviewed one, compared it to the Audio-Technica AT 2020, and the 2020 won out in like some blind listening tests. But the SE, they're all pretty good. Once you get into that $100 mic range, and it's something by AKG, Audio-Technica, SE Electronics, obviously Rode, and some of the other big name mic manufacturers, Blue microphones, you're going to get a good quality mic. And again, if you were setting up, if someone was like, hey, Pete, I've got a PC, I've got a Mac, I've got an iPad or iPhone, and just tell me, I've got $400 burning a hole in my pocket, what do I buy? This would be an easy way to go, because the Gen 3 Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 is a very nice piece of kit. Focusrite makes some good quality gear, and I know from folks who've got the Gen 3, they really like it. You got the little air buttons on there, and it's a little bit more modern looking, and you know, you don't discount the fact of how things look, because sometimes, yeah, you want a piece of gear that's functional, but kind of looks cool as well. So the Scarlett 2i2 is very cool, and yeah, I like what you get here. You get a mic stand, you get the little shelter thing here, so if you're a vocalist and you're recording this, you get the SE Electronics with the pop filter and the shock mount, so everything you'd need. If you're a vocalist and you're like, hey, how do I get into good quality vocal recordings for a low price, this would be a pretty good setup. I would probably, personally, I would go with a Steinberg UR22C and an Audio-Technica AT 2020, which would cost you about the same price. But then you'd need to get mic stand, pop filter, shock mount if you needed it. So yeah, this gives you everything all in once if you just wanted to go with it. Sly Dog says, anything to make me sing in tune? Yes, I've got a great tip for you, a great thing that you can do to sing in tune. Practice. Yes, practice. All right, let's continue on. What are we? We're about 10 in here, aren't we? We've got 17 bits of gear here today. These are my hand-picked stuff that I've used, that people I know use, and that is good quality stuff. Where are my piano players, my keyboardists in the house? Now, I love me some Casio when it comes to my keyboards. I've used Casio keyboards for a very long time. My digital piano is a Casio Celviano, which is the big brother of this one, the Privia. But yeah, Casio have come a long way. If you think back to the days of Casio keyboards being those little monophonic ones, like remember those little plastic white ones that had like 21 keys, and then you press a button, it would be like do 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 do. Yeah, those ones. But Casio have come a long way in professional audio, and their Privia series are super nice. This is the 770. You can see there it's a full 88 key digital piano. You've got your 3 pedals in there. You've got your music note stand. It is super low profile, but still gives you the benefit of a full size weighted keyboard, 88 keys, and yeah, it's just awesome. And like I say, Casio make good stuff and aren't always on sale. So these sort of things hold their value, and therefore they're very you're not going to get like 50, 60, 70% off a keyboard, but to get yourself $50 off and get into a digital piano for like $700 is pretty good. There are lower models and higher models. You can take your pick on those, and pretty much all the Casio range on Sweetwater are about that same thing, about that $50 off at least for the next few days. And there you can see like 6 reviews, 5 stars. Got kids learning the piano. These things rock. Headphones, plug them in. When they're terrible, when they're starting out, they can go with it. Alrighty. Oh, so Bubba, yes. Side note here, we'll talk about this more in the Q&A, but I didn't catch the live conversation. Which mix you're having problems getting your Mac to recognize? I may have found something, but need your mixer name and model. Yeah, it is the Zoom Live Track L8, as Tom has mentioned there. Sly Dog says, I'll just stick to guitar and leave the singing to those who can. It's always worth trying. It's fun to sing. It's fun to have some singing going on. Right, next up. If you know me, you know I love me some JBL. These that I have in my hand, these are my go-to little dirty bud earbuds that I use all the time. These are the JBL Endurance Run with the Belkin Rockstar plugged in there so that I can use a real headphone jack and charge up my iDevices at the same time. So love me some JBLs. And these ones, caveat, I haven't tried these. I've used JBL headphones and headsets in the past. They're always pretty good quality. I want a pair of these. If Sweetwater delivered to Australia, these would be in my cart and on their way right now because look at that. These look really nice. They've got the nice larger sized ear cups for big heads like mine, and 3.5mm and USB. This makes them super flexible and super useful because you can plug them in via USB. You can convert them using your adapter into your iDevices, or if you have an iDevice with a headphone jack, which are rarer and rarer, you can plug directly in there or straight into your desktop PCs or your laptops. So there's the cable, the connection there. You get the braided cable. How good are braided cables? You even get a fuzzy, you even get a pop fuzzy for your microphone. Like, how cool is that? So these are, again, like, you're not going to use these for like your recording or like super high end quality, but having a pair of USB headset handy is always good. Look how dusty this is. I need to replace this. This is why I'm looking around at these things at the moment, because what I have here is an old Logitech. I can't even remember the model of this. It's really good, but as you can see, it's kind of gotten a bit dusty and doesn't get a lot of use these days. But this is a wireless one. So this is a wireless Bluetooth and USB. It's actually really good. I wish I could remember the model. But yeah, nice little fold-up thing. I should use this more often, but because I'm usually here in the studio or I'm out and about with the earbuds, then I don't have much of a use for it, which is why it sits down there gathering dust. But yeah, if you're looking for one of these, that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good deal. I'd love to see how the mic sounds. Yeah, I know it's really hard when you're talking about mics and you're talking about how they sound, because obviously all this stuff, and even if I could demonstrate it, the audio coming through to you. It's like when people say, "Oh man, I saw a review on those new speakers, but you didn't show me how they sounded." And I'm like, "Well, they new headphones. You didn't show me how they sounded." They're going to sound like whatever you're listening on. And they're going to sound like YouTube compression. Let's be honest. Alrighty. Now, let's get into the super exciting and sexy world of microphone stands. Microphone stands, super boring, super pointless until you need one. And then you need one, right? And this looked like a really good deal because these are basically the same. Like, mic stands come from all sorts of brands. Let's be honest, they're all pretty much made in the same factory, probably in the same factory in China, and then they ship them out with different brands. But what you want to look for is a mic that has a boom on it, like these ones do, that has a extendable boom, because if you're playing guitar and you're trying to get away from things, or you're maneuvering microphones around to get them in the right position, having something like this that has both a telescopic thing going up and then a boom arm coming out, it just means that you can get yourself into all sorts of positions. Yes, but yeah, so if you're looking for some mic stands, this looked like a good deal. $66 for two of them. Two together, $66. Yeah, I paid about 60 Australian for one recently, and that was a pretty crappy one. So yeah, I think this, and there you can see, like, look, you're not going to get ultra quality, yeah, but little Titan fastener things there. These aren't your high-end Pro Studio stands, but they're going to do the job. And if you do need a mic stand, it's got the little shifter one. So they're actually good because you can shift them up and down really easily. So yeah, that is what I would recommend. Frameworks, there you go. Again, you could probably buy these called different things at different places, but mic stands for the win. We're on the homeward stretch here, folks. And I've got a question for you. What are you considering picking up at the moment? Are there any gear on your wish list? Remember, don't buy gear you don't need. Beware the gas. Gear acquisition syndrome is a real thing, and it's a bad thing. But yeah, please do. And mic stands are suffering from the tax at the moment. Yeah. So stands that were $19 in January are now over $50. Yeah. And this is the thing. We're just starting to get stock back in. It's really good to see that we actually have some of these things in stock and actually on sale. Because, yeah, a lot of businesses have been struggling. Businesses selling things for people to do things at home with home recording and things like webcams and microphones and headphones and headsets. They haven't been struggling because everybody suddenly needed them, didn't they? Come on now. guitar strings. Who uses Ernie Ball's Super Slinkies? I love me the Slinkies. I use these on my electric guitars, and they're just good. They're middle of the road. Like, I know they're not a top end string, but Ernie Ball strings, the Slinkies, I just throw them on my electric guitars. They just work. They're just good. So anytime, and it's a good thing, like wherever you are in the world, Amazon always have good string deals this time. Stock up on strings. You're going to need strings. Like, I know I said, don't buy the gear you don't need. One thing that you're going to need is strings if you're a guitarist. And at the moment, you can usually get these 3-packs and these 10-packs for like 10%, 15, 20% off. I know Amazon have a heap. I've got some in my Amazon cart because I think there were some Didarios as well, which I use on one of my acoustics here. I need to check if the Elixirs are on special. They'll normally have a deal around this time, and I normally grab myself a 5-pack of Elixirs for my Taylor. So, yeah, grab yourself some stuff. Cleggy, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Wonderful young artist over there in the UK. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's continue on. Yeah, you always need some strings. Ernie Ball does the job. Alrighty, get yourself some cables. I just had to throw this in again. We're at the end here where this is the stuff you need, right? Who doesn't need an extra guitar cable or two hanging around? These ones, the Didarios, these are only at Sweetwater. I've got some similar Didarios. Again, middle of the range, will do the job. Yeah, just buy a cable. Guitar cables are cool. Yeah, and again, if the necessities that you're going to need anyway, when they're on special, just grab them, because why not? All right, we're into the bonus round now, and I'm going to show you a few interesting things. So I get asked this question all the time. They're like, Pete, I don't want to set up like a whole studio setup. I just want the best quality audio for my iPhone videos. I'm using an iPhone to shoot video. How do I get the best quality audio with the least amount of effort? My answer is usually this, the Shure MV88. Now, this is the MV88 Plus. You can get the regular MV88 usually around $150 or $140. This one is the full kit and caboodle. So you can see there it comes with everything you need to get started. So you've got the whole kit there. You've got your stand, you've got your clip for your phone, you've got the microphone there, you've got your cabling that you need. So you can plug it straight in, and I think it's actually got both of them now. Yeah, USB-C and Lightning included in the box. So even if you're on the dark side using Android, you can actually use this setup as well. So if you are a mobile creator, if you're a mobile recordist, and you want to get out there and record, say you're playing outdoors and you want to just pick up your acoustic and your singing performance, you are doing video creation, you're doing content creation, this is my go-to. Like I said, I have the MV88, which is the earlier model that doesn't have all the bells and whistles. This one has all of your bells and whistles covered. So there you go. You've got your headphone jack on the back there, as well as your USB connection. And as you saw, you get the USB to Lightning and USB to USB-C cables in the box. So you can connect them up. You can monitor your audio. So you can even use this thing to record like that. That's pretty cool. And yeah, you can see it's just a nice little stereo mic capsule there. It does its thing. You can even get, I bought a little dead cat windshield to go over the top of mine. So when I'm out recording, if you've ever seen me recording outdoors with my phone, where I'm just doing the whole, holding the phone up, sort of Blair Witch style camera footage, if you're wondering why I'm getting good quality audio, it's because of this. It's the MV88 with the dead cat windshield, which is an unfortunate name for a windshield, but you know what I mean? Those ones that are fuzzy. Let's just see. I wonder if they sell any of them here. So I can just show you what I mean. Died cat? Dead cat? There you go. Now my search history has the word dead cat in it. But they look like this, yeah? So these are the ones for the Rode Dead Cat fur windshield. So these are for bigger microphones, but on your eBays, your Amazons, you can pick up pretty cheap little Dead Cat windshields. So, and if you're doing anything outdoor, if you've ever heard that horrible wind noise that ruins your recordings for whatever you're doing, a Dead Cat windshield is the key. It is the secret. It will make you happy. Thomas Gillane says, I picked up a cheap selfie stick with a good tripod handle. Works great. Yeah. And I can't reach my kit bag here at the moment. But yeah, I use a $10 one from Officeworks here, a $10 tripod. It's really nice, really sturdy. I did go for the grip tight mount from, who are the people that make the same Jabra? Oh, I can't remember the names now. But yeah, I went for the good mount because I had a few phone mounts that broke. But yeah, you just grab yourself, if you want good quality video again, grab yourself the kit, and then for audio, the MV88's a pretty good deal. Ed Zielinski is hoping for a mixer and a mic for Christmas on sale. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Here's the thing. There's going to be a whole lot more stuff coming very soon because it is not even Black Friday, as you know. We are still premature. It is only Black Friday Eve here in Australia. It's Thursday, and it would only be Wednesday night. Yes, happy Thanksgiving Eve for those who celebrate it, by the way, in the US. I know it's a big deal. We don't really get it. You eat turkey and watch football, yeah? And yeah, please stay home. Please stay safe. I'm seeing all this stuff online about people traveling and going places and getting together in big groups, and it's making me super nervous. So please take care of yourself. Be safe. This microphone, I've wanted this for so long that I'm so tempted to buy it. Again, if I could get this shipped to me, I would probably buy it. This is the Shure MV51 condenser microphone. As you can see here, this ain't your grandma's microphone. This is an all-in-one microphone that you can see there. It's got different modes here for speech, for music, for acoustic recordings. You can dial in the mode there. It's got the input gain on the front there. You can mute it and have the headphones plugged in there. That's what it looks like. Here's what it comes with. Again, you get all the different cabling you need, whether you're connecting it up to a lightning-based device, a USB-C based device, or a USB device. It goes to all of them. So this is sort of like if someone wants a USB microphone and they've got a little extra cash to spare and they want to upgrade to something that's going to just work on everything forever, I would go with this, the Shure MV51. If you know Sean Cannell from Think Media, he has this microphone. He uses this mic on most of his live streams, or he did in the past. Not sure if he still uses it. And yeah, it sounds good. Really good quality audio, really crisp, and yeah, just easy to use. You can see there at the bottom there, you plug in, again, 5-volt DC, and then you've got your headphone jack. You can monitor your audio, so you can hear what's actually going through. You could use this for GarageBand recordings, for your music recordings, because again, you can monitor. That's the one thing to keep in mind. If it doesn't have a headphone jack, ain't going to be good for mobile, because none of our stuff has headphone jacks anymore. So if you plugged this in to your iPhone, then it's going to work perfectly, because you then get a headphone jack so you can monitor the audio. USB mics that don't have a headphone jack, no good for mobile, because you can't get the audio output. So that's my number one tip. If you're buying any USB microphone or any USB gear in general, make sure you get the audio out. Oh, we've got the 360-degree view. We didn't need that. So yeah, that's a good deal at the moment. And I used to see these in the Apple stores here in Australia. They did charge retail. So this retails for $199. In the US, it was $339 Australian in the Apple store. And I used to walk in there and look at it and pick it up and look at the price tag and go, never in a million years, and put it back down again. Because, again, for $339 Australian, I can pick myself up a Steinberg UR12, an AT2020, a Lightning to USB 3 adapter, and have $20 to go to the pub for lunch. So I'm not buying that microphone at that price. But at $149 US, if you're looking for a simple solution, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good deal. So is it threaded stand on the bottom? I believe so. Let's just have a squeeze. It's not going to show us, is it? I think under there, it does have a mic threaded thing, but I can't see it and it won't show me. Really good question. It almost certainly does, because Sean Cannell uses it on a boom arm like this. So it must, because he wouldn't just have it propped up. So it must do that. Pixilius, hello to you. I love the Shure SM57. I use it all the time. Yes, that was our first cab off the rank here today, my friend, was the SM57. It is like, it's kind of a rite of passage owning an SM57. Like, I'm not going to gear shame anyone or say you have to buy a certain thing or you have to have a certain thing or you're not a real recorder. But yeah, because it's just that $100 price point, it's just that it's built like a tank. Like, the joke is that you can hammer nails in with these things. Like, roadies just carry one of these in their belt so that they can hook up a microphone or hammer in a nail on stage. Like, they're that good. Anyway, I've talked about that. But yeah, go back to the start. We covered that and the beautiful little SM58 at the start of the show. Oh, we've got a suggestion here from Jeff. I like getting here. Don't know if it's been mentioned, but one deal I found, I think is happening at least in the US and Canada, Sennheiser E935 dynamic, regular 229, 129. The Sennheiser E935. Yeah, I think I saw that one. It might actually be on Sweetwater, or maybe it was over on Amazon. Well, why don't we have a quick look here? I'll just pop over here, and then we'll just open up a new window. And I'll take a look here because I think I saw it actually on Amazon, but I need to go, hang on. Amazon just wants me to go to Australia. It's like, you're in Australia, I'll show you Australia. Like, no, you don't give us anything good in Australia, Amazon. Oh dear. Sennheiser. So the Sennheiser what was it? E935. And yeah, and the Sennheiser mics are actually pretty good too. E935. Okay, yeah, so it's here on Amazon at the moment. It is for $99.99. So that's a pretty good deal right now. And they're in stock for $99.99. Let me show you. So yeah, the E935. Once you get to these, again, the $100 dynamic microphone market is pretty good. If you go Sennheiser, if you go the E935, if you go the AKG D5, or if you go the Shure SM58 or SM57, you're going to get good quality, right? None of these, you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to pick up the Sennheiser and go, oh no, I really wish I had picked up, that's weird, oh, there's your polar pattern. And just go, oh man, I really wish I had picked up the other one. They're all going to sound good, yeah, because they're just taking it, they're giving you a high quality, just a nice high quality signal going in. They're not doing anything fancy. There's no power need to go in there, no phantom power. They're all pretty good. And Tom says, yep, I haven't used the E835. Great mics. Yeah, any of the Sennheiser E series, any of the Shure SM series, any of your AKG D series are good quality mics. You're going to have a good time with those ones. All right, that was us looking at our dead cats. Couple of things to go. This is a mic. Now, I don't own this mic, but this is a mic I've been coveting for the longest time. And this is not actually on a special at the moment. It's $2.99, but you do get the free universal windscreen, which is a $69.99 value. But I saw Graham Cochran using one of these way back when, and it's the coolest looking thing because unlike all of your other condenser microphones, and again, this is just a wish thing for me. I don't expect that many folks have got $300 to buy a high-end blue microphone, but look at this thing. Yeah, you got your polar pad. You can roll off there. You've got your 20 dB pad there, and you've got your what's it called? Your low pass filter. So you can filter that. It comes. Look at that. Look at the box it comes in. Like how nice would that look on your shelf? And the shock mount there. And it's just like unlike most of them that have the capsule all hidden away in there under a big chunky thing on the top, just having that thing poking out like that, it just looks so cool. And I know you shouldn't judge a microphone on how it looks, but again, I've seen folks like Graham Cochran and others use and review this, and they say it's pretty darn cool too. So if again you're not at that $100 microphone range, if you've got the AT2020 or the Rode NT1A or something, and you're like, is there something cooler and better? Then yeah, you can upgrade to something like this. But again, I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to. But yeah, as Tom says, I've always loved the look of that blue condenser. Yeah. Every time I see it, it's a conversation starter. And again, it's not how things look, it's how things sound. But yeah, how nice does that look? As Gary Hub said, just take my money. No, please, don't spend all the money. Again, I'm the worst person. I watch other people doing these streams and they're like, okay, guys, get in there, hit buy now, use my links. I'm like, don't buy any of the gear that I'm talking about. No, obviously you can. And this is just to let you know what's out there. And you may be in the market because this is a good time to pick up good deals on stuff. Last but not least, my buddy Mike over at Creative Source reviewed this one. Was one of the first people in the world, in fact, because Mike's right up there now. Mike's an important dude. One of the first people in the world to review this. It's since kind of blown up the internet. So if you're not familiar with this one, you've probably seen the Shure SM7B, which is kind of the go-to microphone used by most podcasters and a lot of broadcasters. It's a $400 microphone, and it basically needs a cloud lifter or something to give it some boost, which you pay about $150 for. So you need to spend about $500 or $600 to set yourself up with the Shure SM7B. So what Shure did, they saw the market, they saw the opportunity, and they released this, the Shure MV7. USB podcast microphone. But wait, this ain't your grandmother's USB. Why am I picking on grandmothers today? This ain't your regular USB microphone. Why? Because as you can see up there, it has XLR output. So yeah, you get a USB microphone, you get onboard DSP, so yes, you get your signal processing on board, which means you can do things like use effects, use reverb and things in real time without any latency. That's super cool. And yeah, there you go. You comes with your USB cables out of the box, ready to go and ready to plug in and use. And look at the back there. You get your USB connection, a headphone jack, because again, as we've discussed, if you're using a USB microphone, it must have a headphone jack. And you can just plug it in to your mixer, to your audio interface, and use it as a regular XLR microphone. Comes with its nice little stand, so you look all super pro. You can look all Joe Rogan on us, and thread it onto your stands or your boom arms for your professional look. But yeah, I want one. I kind of want one. Again, my next microphone was going to be a Shure SM7B, and then. Does anyone else have this? Does anyone else have this problem where as soon as something gets too popular, you suddenly don't want it? Is that just an Australian thing? Is that our tall poppy syndrome where suddenly if someone else... I went through this with poker. Poker had a big boom here, around the world and here in Australia. Me and my friend started playing poker. And about a year into us playing, it like blew up and the whole world suddenly started playing poker. And we were like, oh, now everyone else is into it. It doesn't feel so much fun. So I don't know if that's the same here. But I'm obviously not that way because, everyone uses the Sennheiser HD280s, and I still love them and use them. So I'm not, and the AT2020, like the Audio Technica mic. So I'm not exactly like that. But yeah, do you understand? Does anyone else feel the same way? Maybe it's just me. But yeah, this one, again, for $250. And just to give you the comparison there, if we take a look at the SM7B by comparison, so this is $250, and you can basically just plug and play and use it straight away, as opposed to the SM7B that doesn't have that additional USB option. Oh, see, this is what I'm saying. This says retail price of $499. Sweetwater savings, $100 off, only $399. This mic has been $399 basically since launch. So there ain't no $100 off this one. Anyway, so yeah, the difference here is $150, and yeah, you're getting kind of the same microphone. The difference being that the new version has USB and has a bunch of additional options. So it's to me, it's probably a better gear. So yeah, so you can see you can buy it with the cloud lifter. So by the time you've got all the stuff you need, you're spending like $590 to get the cloud lifter to make sure you've got enough signal going through. Actually, I'll have to chat to. I might get her back on the show to talk about it because Sarah Nguyen, who is another Australian creator, a live streaming pro, she has just bought the SM7B and not the cloud lifter, the little dynamite stick, the SE Electronics Dynamite, which basically just lifts the gain. It gives you enough volume. Yeah, exactly as Tom says here, if you're not getting enough volume out of it, you could get something like a cloud lifter to get more gain if your preamps are weak. And let's be honest, if you're using home studio gear, you probably don't have the preamps that are going to drive a high-end mic. Things like the Focusrite and the Steinbergs that I use, yeah, I would need some sort of cloud lifter to bring it on up. Yes, the prices we're talking here are US dollars. I know it's weird. I'm an Australian dude, and every time I talk price, it's US dollars. But 40% of the viewers here on Studio Live today are in the US. So, and only less than 5% are Australians. So come on, Australians. I know you're out there. Come and join the channel and we can talk about Aussie dollar bucks a bit more. But yeah, so like I said, please do, I will get in touch with Sarah and find out how her SM7B is going because she got that one with, let me see if I can find it. It's the SE Dynamite, SE, I know there it is. So if you're not sure what these are, they're basically a little inline amplifier that amplifies your signal. So here you go, dynamic one-channel active inline preamp. So all you do, I like the design on this one. How cool does that look? So you plug that end into your gear, and into the other end, over here, you plug in your mic. So your mic cable goes in there, that goes into your gear, and it gives you some amplification. So it gives you, how much extra gain does this one? Let's find out what it says. Yeah, for your passive ribbon and dynamic microphones. A robust 28 dB. So yeah, you're getting 28 decibels of additional gain in there. So why you'd use that is, so I'm using a condenser mic right now, right? So even though this looks a bit like a dynamic up here, It's actually a condenser. It's a handheld condenser. It's a bit of a weird one. It's the Audio-Technica AE3300. It's actually a very nice mic. I only have it because I found it secondhand for like a bargain, but this is like a $300-$400 microphone. But yeah, if you're using something similar to this that we showed before, so if you're using even something like the where were we? The SM57 or an SM58, what you'll notice is that when you plug it in, say you plug your condenser mic in and then you plug your dynamic, the volume you're getting, the gain level coming through will be significantly lower with a dynamic microphone because it doesn't use phantom power to amplify the signal. So you need to turn up your input gain. Now, if you're not getting enough clean signal through, what you'll end up doing is turning up your input gain so much that you're getting additional noise. So your noise floor is lifted up and the background noise gets into your signal. What these little devices do is that they actually give you additional gain without the additional noise. So the processing inside those, the preamp inside, actually lifts your gain so that you get better signal, better quality signal without having to crank the gain up on your interface or your mixer. So they're pretty good deals, pretty good stuff. Ed Zielinski, I bought a handmade preamp made by a guy, and you can call him and talk to him. Hey, that'd be cool. Put me in touch. Send me an email. I love interviewing like interesting people here on the show. I've got some ideas of some people, but yeah, if there's ever anyone you want to connect me with that you're like, hey, this would be a cool person to talk about some stuff, then yeah, let me know. Do you think that preamps are really important for home recording, or are they just not very necessary unless you're professional? It's a good question. 10 years ago, I would have said yes, like basically before I got into recording and when I sort of started researching this stuff, everyone was talking about, hey, you got to have yourself a quality external preamp, right? You got to have a preamp so that you get a better quality signal, because at that time, the very early ones, the M Audio M boxes, they were 16-bit, they were noisy, the preamps in them were crap, so everyone wanted an external preamp. What happened is, about 5 years ago, the preamp quality in all these things increased. So, for instance, Steinberg in things like I've got it here handy this time, things like the Steinberg UR22C, my favorite all-time interface. This has the Yamaha D-Pres. These are really good preamps. Like these would rival a lot of your external preamps, unless you're going like super high-end, like valve preamps. Like these are right up there. So I have no problems plugging in any microphone into this one. Focusrite, the Scarletts, they have really nice preamps too. Even the Behringer HD series, and I know people have different views on Behringer, but the Behringer HD series, the preamps on those, I forget what they call their preamps, but they've got another name for them. But yeah, they're really nice as well. So you get good quality sound. So no, I wouldn't race that. The only time that you need something, again, like we showed here, is if you're using a dynamic microphone and you're getting too much noise because you can't turn it up loud enough to pick up what you're doing. If you talk loudly like me anyway, it might not matter because you don't need to turn it up that much. But if you're recording like some quiet fingerstyle guitar or maybe a quiet vocal, then yeah, you would need that. Yes. So we've got, yeah, there you go, Deep Gravity Extra, 1% Australian. Yes, so I know we've got Deep Gravity and Jade Star here in the chat from Australia. Slide Dogs here from the UK. Let me know where you're from, because we've got about 10 minutes left. So this is the Q&A section. That is all the gear. Again, all the links are down in the description. And as Jade said, very nicely, somewhere up here, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, you can check out the gear recommendations, and they're affiliate links, and I make a little chunk. So if you buy it via the link, which you can see at the top, that side, always the mirror one gets me. Up the top there, studiolivetoday.com/gear. And if you've never been there, let's just give you a quick look at what the gear guide is and how it works. So all you need to do is go here, studiolivetoday.com/gear. Up the top here, you've got Amazon and the 4 major regions. So this covers about 80% of the folks who are here. If you're somewhere else that's not the US, UK, Canada, and Australia, I'm sorry, just go and buy your stuff anyway. You can still use the information. I don't charge you for the information we gave you there. Sweetwater in the US, eBay as well. So if you're using eBay, and that link works anywhere in the world. So if you're buying stuff on eBay, yes, you can buy stuff on eBay, and they break off a chunk, and you can support the channel. And Thomann, who I know a lot of our UK and European viewers are used to buy a lot of their gear. Then down here, I've got my current setup. So this is all, and I need to update it because look, it's a month out of date, but you can see everything I use for my audio interfaces, my mobile, my analog, my guitar interface, and then the headphones, guitar, keyboards, microphones, MIDI keyboards. This is it. So if you're like, I want my studio to be kitted out with exactly Pete's studio, then this is all the stuff you can grab. But you don't need to get all of that because I don't recommend it. I actually have gear overload here, and I want to get rid of some. So for instance, this MV88. So if you click the link here, this is the one we were talking about earlier. This will take you into here. Oh, look at that. The MV88 is 150. Oh no, it was 250, wasn't it? Yeah. So yeah. 150 for the MV88. This is this little sucker. That's what I use for all of my recording. This one's only iOS, by the way. So the other one that we saw there was actually had the USB-C and USB. This one's just iOS. So keep that in mind if you do go ahead and pick up something like that. So there, then you can go through all the different categories, all my different recommendations for interfaces, microphones, all of the rest of it. And the other cool thing is if you click on the header here, it'll actually take you into the different guides there or into the actual videos. So the headphones there, if you click the headphones header, it'll take you to my channel and it will give you a video all about headphones. There you go. You can watch me live stream for an hour about choosing headphones in the home studio. Good times all around. Alrighty, let's see what we've got here. You can interview me, Pete. It'll be the worst interview in history, but at least it'll be funny. Well, then it wouldn't be bad. That's the thing. Like, things aren't bad. I think everything is just a thing. I say this a lot, and I know I'm gonna get all. This is the Black Friday gear show, and I'm gonna get all like in depth and psycho and analytical here, but everything is just a certain degree of good or bad, and it's all what you perceive of it anyway. So I don't really look at things as being good, bad, or otherwise, or failure or success or otherwise. I look at them all as just being events, and you can go, that event was 70% good and 30% crap. Oh wait, that event was 0% good and 100% crap. Okay, that's fine, but it's still just an event. So yeah, again, I say all that to say everyone has something to offer, and I know I'm as self-deprecating as they come at times, but I'm learning to be less. Alrighty. There you go. Just sold me on these additional preamps too. I mean, yeah, if it's the easiest and cheapest way. If you're really happy with your quality, but you're just not getting enough volume, then some of those cloud lifters and the dynamites, and what's the other one called? There's one, the Fethead. Fethead is the other one. So they're the three main ones. It's like I'm talking directly to you. Yeah, but not about what I just ranted because you said that before. Let's scroll on down, see if we've got anything else. Josh White, g'day to you. Would you consider buying Logic Pro for Macs, stick with GarageBand? It's a really good question, and I'll have a quick sip of water and then I'll answer it. Right, so, yeah, I probably will try Logic. For the reason that I can get a 90-day free trial. So for those that don't know, I've just bought myself an M1 Mac Mini. Yes, I jumped into the deep end. I went bleeding edge and I went first-gen hardware. Will I regret it? Probably. But I did it for you because I know many folks are actually keen to see how it works. And so far, had a few hiccups. The Zoom live track that I use for all my streaming doesn't seem to work with it, but we're troubleshooting that. Bubba sounds like he's got some ideas, so I'll definitely be working through that. But yeah, there's going to be issues with software and hardware and other things. In terms of software I'm using, so I loaded up GarageBand on Mac, used that for the first time. Hey, it's pretty cool. Does kind of the same things. Logic, I don't know that I'm going to need the additional functionality. I'm going to try it because I think it would be interesting, and I think you folks might like to see me try Logic for the first time, but I kind of need to try GarageBand Mac for the first time first. So it'll probably be at least a couple of weeks away. I'll get my M1 up and running. I'll get GarageBand Mac running. I'll hopefully get my audio set up and my camera so that I can stream using my Mac, because that's what I did it for. Like it's okay when I'm just sharing static images like this, but when I do my Your Music live show, yeah, it sometimes sort of falls apart because I'm using my 10-year-old PC. So hopefully it'll work for things like that. But yeah, I would definitely consider it, and I'll definitely do the 90-day trial. Whether I buy it or not really depends on whether I use the additional features, and that's why I need to use GarageBand first, because I need to know what GarageBand Mac does, because that already has additional features before I jump in and try Logic. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. Tom says that the SM7B is notorious for low signal. Yeah, would probably need a boost for that one, but most mics you wouldn't necessarily need a preamp. Exactly, spot on. So the SM7B, very low signal. It's designed to work with high quality preamps that have plenty of nice gain, so you can turn them up without getting much noise floor. If you have something entry level but wanted an SM7B, I would invest in a cloud lifter or a dynamite or a FET head. And maybe again, I keep taking one for the team, but maybe eventually I will do that. Jade says, loving the new assets. Yeah, I've fancied things up a bit. I thought, not that I have to copy everyone else, but I like this. I matched the color schemes on the border with the little chat that StreamYard put in here, and I made it top third instead of bottom third because I've seen people use bottom third. So yeah, let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, not only for the video, but give me a comment. Let me know what you think of this sort of border. I think it looks much better. And like when we share things over like this, yeah, it just all pops nicely into that frame, and it looks hopefully looks a little bit nicer, and also yeah, provides some information because I can put links and things up there when I'm doing shows or the names of the shows, things like that. So let me know what you think. Ed Zielinski says, FYI, that Dynamite preamp says one channel, so would it work with a stereo mic? Yeah, so yeah, the XLR microphones will only ever be mono. So if you've got a stereo mic, it's usually a stereo pair, and it usually comes with 2 plugs. So you'll normally plug into 2 different channels. So yes, if you were using a stereo micing setup, you would need 2 of those. So if you had 2 dynamic mics and you wanted to give them both the boost, yes, you can only push 1 channel through that. Cousin Frank said, thoughts on the PreSonus Audio Box 96? It's a good question. You know what? The reason I don't talk about PreSonus is not because I don't like PreSonus. In fact, Joe Gilder, who now works for PreSonus, has always used PreSonus, loves them, or PreSonus, depends how you want to say it. But I just haven't ever used them. So I've used a lot of Steinberg gear, I've used a lot of Focusrite gear, and I've used a bit of Behringer gear. And it really just comes down to the fact that I already own about 5 or 6 audio interfaces. So the reason I haven't bought anything from M Audio or anything from PreSonus is that I haven't needed to. And I know I could review them, but there's heaps of folks out there that review them. Looking at the specs from a pure specs level, so if we come over here, let's just find it. PreSonus Audio Box. Where is your box? There it is. PreSonus Audio Box. So yeah, it's very similarly spec'd. So it's got almost all the same specs and almost indistinguishable from something like a Steinberg UI22 or a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. So there it is. If you're not familiar with it, it's a $100 interface. It's actually, yeah, pretty good deal for that at the moment. $100 interface. There it is. Comes with a USB cable. It's only USB-A, so it hasn't been updated to, maybe there is a USB-C version now, but this is the USB 96, so 96 kilohertz audio. On the back there, you've got MIDI in and out, USB. You've got balanced TRS outs and headphone out on the back, which is an interesting layout. You don't see that very often on many interfaces. And on the front there, you got your 48 volts of Phantom. You got your 2 channels in there. You do have the input and the playback mixer. So that's one of the things I love about the Steinberg. Oop, drop it on its head. One of the things I love about the Steinberg UR22C is it has a mix dial. Instead of just having all of your signal coming through your software or all of it coming through direct monitoring, latency-free monitoring, you get to mix it between the 2. So I find that cool. And look, PreSonus, you know they've got a sense of humor because look at that volume knob. Yes, this one goes to 11. Right? It's the little things. It's why I love places like DistroKid, why I like Sweetwater, why PreSonus are pretty cool. Companies take themselves too seriously sometimes. And sometimes just a little thing like that just makes you laugh. Like that's taken me one level closer. If I'm buying another USB audio interface, and I probably am at some stage in the future, I might just pick this one up because it goes to 11. It means nothing, but it's fun. A bit of fun. Alrighty. So yes, I think it looks like a good deal. And again, people, I've never used it, but people that I trust and people that I know do use it, and look, 4.5 star reviews, 12 reviews. So probably pretty good. The one that now that I've said that, the one that I probably will pick up if I do get a new interface that I'm really keen to try is this one, because it has, look at this. And yes, it's $70 more expensive, but look, you get little VU meters. How cool is that? The Motu M2. There's one that I think Patrick over at GarageBand Guide has, and Mike over at Creative Store. I keep talking about Mike because he's my friend and I love him. I keep talking about Mike. I think he, one moment. Sorry. He recently did a review. He did like his the 10 most popular audio interfaces. So he went out and polled the internets and said, what are the most popular audio interfaces what are the audio interfaces that you used? And he got all of them, all the most popular ones, and he put a top 10 list. And he got flooded with comments saying, how dare you not put the Motu M2 in your review? And he's like, What part of most popular don't you understand? I had nothing to do with this. This is survey results. But no, he wouldn't say that because he's a nice guy. But he's like, okay, maybe we need to check out this Motu. So I think he probably, his next email should have been to Motu to say, hey Motu, people think your interface is cool. Send me one. I'll check it out. Oh yes, we're dodgy in the world of YouTube audio. Not really. Love you, Mike. Jeff, have I tried my Samson mixer? I haven't. And that was actually my next port of call, is if I can't get it working, maybe I'll try and do a bit of a test run, because the Samson doesn't use a driver. It's because it's only stereo, it's not multi-channel. It just brings all the channels together and, works without a driver, completely class compliant. So I could try that and I could use that. The Samson was good, but it's only 16-bit audio, and it really didn't manage the bass frequencies well. So whenever I was playing back music, the bass would be all crappy. One moment again. Apologies. Got a bit of a frog in my throat. There we go. I could try it. I have plugged in the Steinberg, and that worked out of the box without any drivers. And I do have the Steinberg drivers for Mac ready to download and install. So I'll be trying that. And I know, Jade, you did just try that with your Steinberg UI22 Mark II, the version before the C, and that did work. So hopefully good. So you're liking the outline. Jeff says it looks cool. Looks good. Looks cool. Nice one. So if you've got any suggestions or ideas, I haven't used these because I didn't want to. Have you seen some live streams where there's just stuff everywhere? It gives me a headache. Like, I don't want to see all that, but I thought if it's nice and clean, just one logo, just one or two lines of text that's nice and clear, hopefully it just will look a little bit pro. Because I set this up for Your Music Live, which is happening in a couple of days' time. By the way, if you've got a song, Your Music Live, email me, pete@studiolivetoday.com, with the link and with a sentence or two about your song, YML in the subject, and it'll probably get a spin because we've got a lot of tracks, but we can always use more. Tim Osborne, g'day to you. I have the PreSonus Eris 5 monitors. They're really good. Was thinking of getting the audio interface. There you go. Yeah, I have heard really exceptionally good things about the PreSonus Eris series monitors. I've never used them, but Mark, I'm not sure he's on the stream today. I'm sure that he used it, who's one of our regulars here, uses the PreSonus Eris, and others that I've spoken to have used them, and they look the part, and apparently they sound good too. So pretty affordable, as you can see here, $99 for the entry level, $129 for the Bluetooth model. These are just the little 3.5 inch, so you can then get the 4.5 inch or the 8 inch or the 5 inch. Let's have a look, because these are the ones you said there, the 5 inch, yeah? Oh, that's for one. So that's $125 for one 5 inch. But if we go to these are the ones that a lot of folks have been using and telling me are cool. Again, for $100 bucks, you can't really go far wrong. Sorry, these are Yankee bucks. I'll have to start saying that. Anytime it's American, I'll say Yankee bucks. And if it's Australian, I'll say dollar bucks. All right. So what you got here, you got your volume, you've got aux in and headphones right there on the front, your little power switch there, which I would find handy. Problem is, I have to unplug my speakers from my mixer every time I go live. Otherwise, I get feedback through my speakers, because the control here on my Zoom live track is the same for my headphone out as it is for my speaker out. And I could do some other random things and change mixes and whatever, but I don't. So I just unplug them. But yeah, having a power switch on the front would be super cool. So yeah, there you go. There's what you get. You get all your cables to set it all up. And this is the thing. Look on the back here. You get both RCA and balanced out. You get your high and your low, like your acoustic tuning there. And like that's stuff you don't usually get on these lower end monitor speakers. You rarely get balanced inputs into your speakers, as well as unbalanced RCA. So whatever gear you're using and plugging into them are going to work. So there you go. Tim says they're good. I know Mark has them and says they're good. If you're in the market for some budget monitor speakers, then these may be a good option for you. And again, if you do me a solid, if you're going to go pick up a pair, come in over here from studiolivetoday.com/gear. The link you can see up the top of your screen there right now. And if you click these links at the top here, once you're in there, whatever you buy will help, because those affiliate links will take you to the landing pages of the different stores, and then whatever you buy helps me. So it's not just the individual stuff. If you say, Pete, I don't want to buy the stuff that you're hawking, then you can buy anything, and it still will help out the channel. So thank you for everyone for simply watching. You help me by watching. You give me ideas, and you give me these different ideas of different things. Yeah, Jeff says, yeah, those monitors have a good reputation. So have I tried so the Yamaha MG series mixers. I don't own an Imager. What word was I saying there? I don't own the Yamaha MG series, but I recommend the Yamaha MG series. I was almost ready to pull the trigger on upgrading from my Samson mix pad to a Yamaha MG mixer. And then I went for the Zoom Live Track. The Zoom Live Track L12 was out, and I said, I just don't need that many channels. I'll just go for the MG series. The Live Track L8 came out, and I said, sold, and I bought one, and that was that. But the MG series have the Yamaha, they have the same Yamaha D pre's, the preamps that are in the Steinberg UR series. So really good quality preamps for a mixer especially. I know Jade Star uses one. My buddy Ron Ward over at GarageBand uses one. I've never had anyone pick up the MG series from Yamaha, the mixers, and say they don't like them. Whereas some of the other budget mixers like the Behringer, some folks love them, some folks not so much. So if you're not sure what the MG series are all about, let me bring this one up. The MG12s. This is probably the most popular one. You can get smaller ones, but this is like the 12 channel. This is the big dude. Looks like this. There you go. So again, 12 channel mixer with USB and effects. So it's a USB mixer. Keep in mind that this is just going to be stereo. So when you plug this into your computer to record, you're not going to get independent channels like you would with a multi-channel audio interface. But if you're bringing together a whole bunch of microphones or line inputs and you want to be able to do these, and here's the thing, I miss my compressor. The Zoom Live Track, I'm talking myself out of the Zoom Live Track, aren't I? The Zoom Live Track doesn't have a compressor on any of the channels, which means that sometimes it's hard to get a balance, especially when I'm doing live performances. The old Samson had a compressor, and that made it a bit easier. So you've got compressor, you've got your full EQ there, you've got aux sends and receives. You've got those on buttons. Like I used to like those on the old Yamaha mixers, like the little on buttons to turn on the channels. And then down the bottom there, you see you've got your on-off buttons. You've got your pre-fader levels as well as your fader levels. So it's everything. It's like an old school mixer. So if you've used old analog mixers, all that would look super familiar, but you get the benefit of plugging it in to USB. And if you're like, that looks good, Pete, but I don't want to spend $350, the smaller ones, so you can get things like the MG10, or actually even the MG6. So did that work? Yeah, so this one here. So the MG10, there's the analog and there's the USB version. So this one is the one that a lot of folks go for. And I think this is the one that Ron Ward picked up for himself or others have. But yeah, again, still got your 4 channels in there. So you can have up to 4 microphones in there, your pad, your high pass filter, your compressor on the first 2 channels there, phantom power. Everything is a knob though. You're a knob, Pete. And there is a fader version of this for a little bit more, but everything's a knob, and you just don't have all of those features. Don't have the on-off buttons. Don't have all of that analog mixery goodness, but you still got your USB connection. So yeah, the MG series have a good reputation for a reason. As you can see there, 4.5 stars across 52 reviews. You plug them in, they just work. They just give you high quality audio. They work every time, and they sound good. So I would recommend, despite not currently using one, again, I know enough people who do use them that tell me that they're great, that I trust them. So Yamaha MG. Tom Rochelle says, I did use the non-USB version of Yamaha MG at my former workplace. It was very good as a mixer. Yeah, absolutely. The newer Mackie Pro mixers. I've been tempted by the Mackies in the past. They do look good. Paul Cap says, I've been using the Yamaha MG10 XU, the one we just looked at, for 4 months. Works great. There you go. You've got a live testimonial from an actual user, which is cool. Recommendation for a digital piano. I talked about this earlier, but I love the Casio series. So I own the Casio Celviano, and if you want to go a little bit more budget, the Casio Privia is actually, again, it's one of the things I covered here today. Casio Privia PX 770, 88 key digital piano, hammered action keys, 2-track recorder, 19 tones, 128 note polyphony, USB connection. So they've really come a long way, the Casio digital pianos. I said it in my coverage before, but if you think, a lot of folks think Casio and they think keyboards and they think the old school monophonic, those sort of Casio keyboards. Nah, Casio have come a long way, and they're right up there with Roland and Korg and others. So they're who I use and recommend. And again, for $700 for an 88 key hammer action, fully weighted, 3 pedals, USB connection, so you can use it with your MIDI gear. Yeah, if you're getting into your piano, or you've got kids, or you want to learn to play piano, yeah, you can't go wrong. And the Celviano take up a bit more space. They're a little bit larger model in terms of sort of bit of chunkier cabinet around them. But the Privia series, yeah, you can tuck that away in a corner and it's not going to take up much room at all. So yeah, that's my recommendation for digital piano. Yes, Yamaha is pretty dependable. You can't really go far wrong with a Yamaha. That's why I like Steinberg, because they got the Yamaha guts in here. The Yamaha D-Pres just sound great. They've always got good quality converters, good quality preamps in all the gear. Did you use one at the ice rink? Yeah. The mixer I used, I won't be able to find a photo quick enough, but the mixer I used at the ice rink, so I used to be the PA announcer for the Adelaide Adrenaline and Adelaide Rush ice hockey teams, the men's and women's national teams here in Adelaide. And I used a very old, an ancient analog Yamaha mixer, and I had a love-hate relationship with that thing. Its fader knobs would fall off. It would just start breaking up and crackling. One of the sliders, if you plugged into one channel, if you slid it up to full, it would cut off. So you'd have to very carefully slide it up, and as you got almost to the top, yeah, if you went too far, it would be like rocking out to a rock song between periods, and then it would just go, and it would cut off. And if I didn't notice it, people would be looking over at me. I'd be like, oh wait, it's silent. Bring it back down. So yes, I did use one at the ice rink. Jeff says I should get a Yamaha mixer. I have a Yamaha piano, Yamaha drums, 2 Yamaha receivers. Yeah, I have a Yamaha receiver for my home theater setup. So yeah, Yamaha for the win. I don't own a Yamaha outboard motor for my boat, and I don't own any Yamaha motorbikes, but that's a different story. I don't have any of those things anyway. Keep with the theme, absolutely. And yes, Roland do some pretty nice stuff. In the world of digital pianos and in the world of gear, like I use the Roland Go Mixer Pro, and that does a great job. I'll be playing around with that a bit on the weekend, actually, because I've got a live show. I'm doing my live happy hour show, Beatles edition, this weekend, which should be a heck of a lot of fun. Really looking forward to doing that. I was practicing last night. That's why the voice is a bit husky, because I've been practicing with that. The M Audio 88 key hammer weighted is also a great controller. Yeah, if you don't want the whole digital piano thing and you just want an actual controller, the M Audio Keystation 88 Mark III is a good option. So if you don't want it to be able to play out loud and you're looking for more of a budget option to use as a MIDI controller, this is what I would go for. There you go. And I have the 49 key version, which doesn't have the weighted hammer action keys, but this one does. The 61 and the 88 key versions do. You can see there, nice full-size keyboards, nice compact, just with the nice chord there. Everything's nice. Everything goes well. So yeah, and there's your I/O. You've got MIDI out, you've got USB out, sustain and expression pedals, so you can plug in 2 separate pedals there for your sustain and your expression, and you'd be good to go. So agree with that one, the M Audio Keystation series or the Code series. So Jade Star uses this one and recommends it highly if you got a little bit more scratch, burn and hole in your pocket. The M Audio Code series. So there's the Mach 3. They don't seem to have it. They've got the Oxygen. Is this it? No, that's the Oxygen series. Anyway, there's the Oxygen and there's the Code series. So you can go up in the world if you want all those cool synthesizer functions and your pads and your bits and your things that I don't use. So yeah, M Audio, very good stuff too. Yeah, exactly. You can't go far wrong with digital pianos these days. They're getting better every year. Exactly. They're getting better every year, but by the same token, don't wait forever to buy one, because they're good enough now. Like, yeah, 10 years ago to now, there's a big difference. This year's model to last year's to 2 years ago. Basically, once they nailed they are all just using digitally sampled pianos now. So if people think back to the old synthesizer days and they think that's what your digital piano is going to sound like, it don't sound nothing like that. My Casio Celviano sounds beautiful. It sounds much better than any acoustic piano that I will ever be able to afford. And you're right, it is no good when your knobs fall off. I was going to say that we'll end on that note. We've got a couple more questions here, so we'll keep. We'll do about 5 more minutes, and then we'll go in there. So Coley Molly Vlay says, "What about a microphone for recording vocals? A budget microphone for recording vocals?" So in the microphone category, here's what I go with. We'll go AT2020. So not surprisingly, if you want a condenser microphone, my recommendation is almost always, and probably almost always will be, this one here. It's the Audio-Technica AT2020. Yes, it's a $100 microphone, but it packs a real punch. So it's a large diaphragm condenser, really nice quality, really nice response, just does everything. Whether you're using vocals or guitars or any other noise that you want to record, it does the job. Again, 72 reviews, 4.5 stars rating here on Sweetwater, so you know it's good. If you're going down in budget, we talked about it before. I mean, you can go to the Shure SM50. Oh, we've lost it now. Shure SM57 or 58. They're $89. They're a dynamic microphone. If you want a cheaper dynamic microphone, the first mic I owned was the Shure PG58. So it's about half the price, if my memory serves, of the SM series. And it's not coming up. But it does a good job. Why has it stopped? There we go. So you get the PGA 48 for just $34. That's pretty good. That might have been it, the PGA 48. I reckon I did have, because I paid about 50 Australian for it. So if you want to get in on the ground floor and you've really got not much money to spend, you still get your mic clip, you still get your microphone, you get your case there. You're not going to get the same level of quality, but this is a better buy than those cheap, crappy kits that you see on Amazon all the time. There's one called like the BM800, I think. Look, I don't want to talk down on that. If you buy it and you use it and it works, more power to you. But I would rather buy the base model of a brand that I know and trust than something from a company that I've never heard of. So this is what I would go with if you're just getting started. Dynamic microphone, good noise rejections, got the capsule on the top there, and it will plug into anything and just go. So there you go. And again, 10 reviews, 5-star rating. I should probably pick one of these up and kind of do a bit of testing with it, because it's definitely what I would go with for budget. Yeah, if you can't afford the AT2020, you don't have $100, but you got $34, and you want to pick up something, get the budget model Shure, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. What would you say is the best sounding iOS piano app plugin? Without a doubt, it is the Ravenscroft 275. In my opinion, in my experience, and in my opinion, Ravenscroft 275. We are going to finish up shortly. Yes, I want to give a shout out to Jade Star. She has just started her Patreon, and she's a wonderful supporter of the channel. So if you are a patron of hers, she's live streaming straight after this one. And if you're not a patron of hers, you should get on over there. While you're there, join the Patreon community here, patreon.com/PeteJohns. Join, I'm pretty sure it's probably patreon.com/JadeStar, or just look up Jade Star and join there as well, because we do really appreciate your support, and you get to see a bit more behind the scenes gear that goes on our channels. So thank you for that. And thank you for being here today. We will be back tomorrow, and we're doing a Black Friday apps show. So everything we did here today about gear, we'll be doing with iOS music and video creation apps. So we did 17 today. Can we break that record and do 18 apps tomorrow in an hour or an hour and 15? Maybe. You'll have to wait to find out. But we're going to head off for now. So as I say at the end of every show, head over to studiolivetoday.com/gear if you want to check out all the gear that I recommend. If you make a purchase there, they break off a chunk and send it my way, because they are affiliate links. Thanks everyone for being here. Please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Remember, gear is not the answer. It is the cracked pepper on top of your delicious linguine. Until next time, take care of yourselves, folks. Bye for now.